I don't know. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, if anybody knows Joe Chen, I did do a little collab with Joe Chen. Did I kill Spotify? Probably did. That too loud? Hope that's not too loud. Okay. So, all right. So let's get to some. One of my top stories. Um, the most crazy experience I ever had. There's like two of them. Um, Two different ones, but were very, very crazy, spooky, kind of scary. Um, the first one was me and uh, API, which was my very, very first organized paranormal team that I was part of, called Attleboro Paranormal Investigators. Attleboro is where I was born and raised, um, Attleboro, Massachusetts. And in North Attleboro, there is a very well known um, cemetery called St. Stephen's. And there's a statue on one of the grave sites that has been known to be paranormal per se. I believe it's a fireman statue of some sorts, and it is apparently its head turns and follows you as you walk by. Now, my team and I did not um, feel any of that or see any of that when we were there, but we did take a bunch of pictures, and I wish I had the pictures, but I don't think I do anymore. Uh, I don't think I have them anymore. They were sent to me, but I think I lost them when I switched to a regular PC. I don't. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't think I have it. Let's see if I find it. I'm gonna get my. Yeah, I do not have the pictures anymore. But okay, uh, I'll, I'll explain to you what the picture was. It basically we were taking just random camera shots with a regular camera with a flash. This was on a dry, low humidity night, no moisture in the air, nothing, nobody smoking cigarettes or vaping or anything like that. And we caught a, what I can only explain it as smoke or mist of some type coming from the top of a headstone, like a tail, and then coming towards the camera and then becoming bigger with a demonic, scary looking skeleton type face in it, and two claws coming out the side of the side underneath the chin area. And then the very next picture, which was literally seconds after that one, there is literally nothing, just a regular picture. And that only happened once. We didn't see it until we downloaded the files and all that stuff. We have no idea. Nobody knows what that was. We even gone back and didn't get the same results. And we knew which gravestone it was because it had the person's name on it. So later that night, me and the co-founder of the team, we were heading to an area where there was a lot of uh, children that were, you know, buried in smaller gravestones. Now, a lot of people think the small, little, tiny gravestones are children, and yes, a lot of them can be children, but it doesn't necessarily mean they are children. It just means that the family of the person that was buried couldn't afford the bigger stones. So keep that in mind if you guys do things like that. It doesn't always necessarily mean, you know, it was a child. Um, but anyways, that we were on our way there, heading in that direction, and we were walking down, you know, the little dirt path in between, you know, the road. And both him and I stopped dead in our tracks because up ahead of us, um, we saw a dark shadow figure, and I looked at him. He looked at me. I was like, "You see what I see?" And he's like, "Yeah, do you see what I see?" And we both confirmed that we see a dark shadow figure form at the, you know, up ahead of us. And right after we said that, this thing started moving at a very, very rapid speed. And as it's closer it got to us, the bigger it was getting. And it was going very, very, very fast. And it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And right before it got to about, I want to say 10 to 15 feet from my partner and I, it was over 9, 10 feet tall, but it just vanished. And I'm going to tell you, I've never been spooked like that before in my life. I literally ducked down, thinking that, you know, it was going to go right through me, but it vanished before it got to us. No cold stuff in the air, no sounds, no wind, nothing. It just disappeared. And we both saw it, so it wasn't just my eyes playing tricks on me. He saw the same thing. And the reason why I know he saw the same thing, because when we experienced the general rule with my group back then, when we experienced things like that, we don't tell each other. Now, we did confirm that we both saw a shadow. That's fine because it's just a shadow. But something that escalates to where it was at, we don't say anything to anybody. When we go back to where our headquarters were set up at, in this case was the van in the parking lot, I pulled aside one of the other investigators, and he pulled aside another one of the investigators. And he explained to the person what he saw, and I explained to the person what I saw. And then when they both got back, everybody got back. They both said exactly what we saw. That's how we knew we both saw the same thing. You don't always assume that just because there's another set of eyes with you that's going to automatically people are going to believe you. You need a little bit more proof of like I like to feel as though you need a little bit more proof by separating the two people that experience something and then them telling another person what they experienced and that person told another person and then they confirm it together. That pretty much solidifies what you experience. So that was one of the most crazy things I experienced in terms of being frightened. So that kind of put a pretty good spook in me. That's not something I've ever experienced before, nor do I ever wish to experience ever again. It was quite scary. I mean, you're in a cemetery to begin with, so you're already going in there. I try not to let the environment uptick your mood, but when this happened, it goes through your head. We're in a cemetery. That's got to, that's creepy. So, um, and then one of my other uh, experiences that has pretty much has always stood with me um, was at Belcourt Castle in Newport, Rhode Island. Y'all can look it up. It's a very well known place. Look up, paranormal activity at Belcourt Castle. There's a service tunnel that was built underneath the castle that was believed to be for the servants or slaves that were hired for to work at the castle. And the reason why they had an underground tunnel is because there was no sleeping quarters there for them, so they had to travel and not be seen because they were considered filthy and all that stuff, and this was a high class place, so they didn't want guests to see them. So they traveled to and from their places in a tunnel, the access tunnel underneath the castle itself, which led into the stables or stables where the horses were, and there was a back side room that went to the kitchen, and in the kitchen was where the stairway to the tunnel was. And it's a long tunnel because it's a big piece of property. And there are no lights down there. There used to be, but there were no longer any lights down. Well, not active anyways. So me and the tech guy Jay went down there to do some digital photos with infrared, some EVP recordings, and EMF recordings. So we were walking slowly down, asking all our questions and everything.